As a seasoned mechanic with over 2 decades of hands-on experience under the hood, I've learned one thing for certain. Popularity doesn't always equal reliability. Every year, new cars flood the market with bold promises, advanced technology, fuel efficiency, luxury features, and aggressive marketing. But beneath the polished brochures and dazzling showroom lights, some models hide a laundry list of mechanical issues, premature failures, or design flaws that can cost owners thousands down the road. I've worked on just about every make and model out there. And while some live up to their reputation, others become repeat visitors to the garage, often for the same issues, again and again. These patterns become clear when you're the one fixing them day after day. In this video, I want to give you the real, unfiltered truth about 10 popular cars in 2025 that you should think twice about before buying. Whether it's due to unreliable engines, problematic transmissions, or questionable build quality, these vehicles have earned their spot on this list for good reason. Let's dive in. Jeep Wrangler, 2024 to 2025 model years. The Jeep Wrangler is undeniably iconic. Its rugged design and off-road capability make it a fan favorite. But behind that adventurous facade is a series of reliability concerns that persist year after year. The 2025 models continue this trend. One of the biggest problems remains the transmission system, especially in automatic models. Many owners report hard shifts, slipping gears, and even complete transmission failure within the first 50,000 miles. These aren't minor complaints. Repairs can run well over $4,000, and replacements are frequent in colder climates where drivetrain components take a beating. Additionally, electrical issues plague the newer Wranglers. From infotainment glitches to malfunctioning backup cameras and random warning lights, the electronic system is one of the most unreliable I've seen in a modern vehicle. And finally, the Wrangler still suffers from poor ride comfort and fuel economy, making it a less practical daily driver for most people. Unless you truly need the off-road capability and are willing to live with the constant upkeep, I suggest looking elsewhere. Chevrolet Equinox. The Chevy Equinox continues to sell in large numbers, especially to families looking for an affordable compact SUV. But 2025 hasn't addressed many of the underlying issues that mechanics have been warning about for years. First, there's the 1.5L turbocharged engine, which has a well-documented oil consumption problem. Many owners report adding a quart of oil every 1,000 to 1,500 miles, even on newer models with low mileage. Excessive oil consumption leads to engine wear and eventually full replacements or rebuilds. Not something you want to deal with 3 years into ownership. Another major concern is the timing chain, which has a tendency to stretch prematurely. When this happens, it causes poor engine performance and can even lead to catastrophic engine damage if ignored. It's not a cheap or easy repair, and it shouldn't be necessary on a relatively new vehicle. From a mechanic standpoint, the Equinox is a textbook case of short-term savings leading to long-term costs. Affordable on paper, but expensive in the shop. Nissan Altima. Nissan's Altima has long been marketed as a reliable, affordable midsize sedan. And while that reputation may have held true a decade ago, the 2025 version is another story. The biggest issue, and the one that brings most Altimas into the shop, is the continuously variable transmission, CVT. CVTs are meant to improve fuel efficiency, but Nissan's implementation has been notoriously problematic. Sudden lurching, slipping, overheating, and complete failure are not uncommon, even at mileage below 70,000. To make matters worse, CVT repairs are expensive, and many mechanics simply recommend full replacement. Nissan has made minor improvements over the years, but not enough to trust the 2025 Altima with confidence. In addition, build quality continues to decline. Interior materials feel cheap, road noise is excessive, and long-term durability is questionable. This is one of those cars that looks better on a spec sheet than it performs in the real world. Ford EcoSport. Ford's attempt at a subcompact crossover, the EcoSport, was never a class leader. And unfortunately, the 2025 version doesn't change that narrative. In fact, it may be one of the worst vehicles in its segment in terms of value and dependability. Let's start with the engine options. The 1.0L EcoBoost engine might sound efficient, but it's grossly underpowered for a vehicle of this size. Worse yet, it's been prone to coolant leaks, which can lead to overheating and severe engine damage. Ford has issued technical service bulletins, but hasn't fully resolved the issue. The suspension system is another weak point. I've seen multiple EcoSports come in with premature strut and control armware, parts that shouldn't need replacement until well past 100,000 miles. On some models, they start failing around 40,000. That's unacceptable. Add in cheap interior materials, noisy cabin acoustics, and cramped rear seating, and you get a vehicle that feels outdated and overpriced, even with Ford discounts. Tesla Model Y. Tesla has revolutionized the auto industry, no doubt. But that doesn't mean all its models are immune to quality concerns. The Model Y, despite its impressive electric range and acceleration, has a laundry list of issues that mechanics and owners constantly point out. First and foremost is build quality. Misaligned body panels, rattling interiors, and inconsistent paint finishes are frequently reported. While these may not affect drivability, they speak volumes about attention to detail, or the lack thereof. Mechanically, suspension and steering components have proven to wear prematurely, especially in colder regions where road conditions are harsher. Additionally, the heat pump system, responsible for cabin heating, has experienced frequent failures in winter months, leaving drivers with cold interiors and no easy fix. To top it off, repairability is a concern. Independent shops often lack the tools or software access to service Teslas, which forces owners to rely on service centers that may be slow and expensive. Volkswagen Atlas. The Volkswagen Atlas has grown in popularity due to its spacious interior and attractive styling. But beneath the surface, this three-row SUV has one of the most problematic service histories in its category. The engine and transmission pairing is where most issues begin. The 3.6 LV6 often suffers from carbon buildup and oil leaks, while the transmission delivers rough shifts and hesitation under load. Many of these issues appear before 60,000 miles. Another major complaint is the infotainment system, which frequently freezes or resets, leaving drivers without navigation or audio. Software updates don't always solve the problem. Suspension issues, premature brake wear, and electrical gremlins further cement the Atlas as a vehicle that looks good on paper but quickly becomes a maintenance headache. Subaru Ascent. Subaru has a strong reputation for all-wheel drive vehicles that handle tough conditions. Unfortunately, the Ascent, their largest SUV, doesn't live up to the reliability of its siblings. The 2.4L turbocharged engine has been known to suffer from head gasket issues, a problem Subaru owners know all too well from earlier models. When this fails, it leads to coolant mixing with oil, a situation that quickly ruins the engine. Beyond that, the CVT transmission is another trouble spot, with owners citing sluggish performance, loud whining noises, and in some cases, complete breakdowns under normal driving conditions. Add in issues with the infotainment freezing and excessive oil consumption, and the Ascent becomes a risky long-term purchase, especially for families counting on reliability. Hyundai Elantra, 2021 to 2025. The Hyundai Elantra has come a long way in terms of design and features. It looks sleek, offers great fuel economy, and is loaded with technology. But behind the wheel, the 2025 model still struggles with the same reliability concerns that have haunted it in recent years. Chief among them is the engine knocking issue on the 2.0L MPI engine, which Hyundai has yet to fully resolve. This condition, often caused by faulty piston rings or poor machining, can escalate into full engine failure, sometimes without warning. Additionally, Elantra CVTs tend to develop shuddering and delayed acceleration with relatively low mileage, making city driving unpredictable and stressful. The combination of drivetrain concerns and hit-or-miss build quality makes the Elantra a gamble for anyone planning to own it beyond its warranty period. BMW X3. BMW is a brand that inspires confidence until you're the one paying the repair bills. The X3 is a compact luxury SUV with great handling and strong performance. But in 2025, it remains one of the more problematic vehicles in its class. The B48 2.0L turbocharged engine, found in many X3 trims, is prone to timing chain issues, coolant loss, and high-pressure fuel pump failures. Any one of these repairs can run into the thousands. Electronics also pose a consistent headache. Faulty sensors, malfunctioning parking systems, and infotainment bugs are all too common. BMW's complex technology doesn't age gracefully. If you plan to lease the vehicle and return it in a few years, it might make sense. But as a long-term investment, mechanics like me recommend caution. Dodge Durango. The Dodge Durango is one of those SUVs that people buy for power and presence. With available V8 engines and a muscular design, it certainly stands out on the road. But under the hood, things get dicey, especially in 2025. First off, the 5.7L Hemi V8, while powerful, is plagued by lifters and camshaft wear. These components fail prematurely and require engine teardown to replace, a job that can cost over $5,000. The transmission in Durangos is also known for rough downshifts and gear hunting, particularly in stop-and-go traffic. Over time, these issues accelerate wear and eventually demand replacement. Add to this the fuel economy, which remains one of the worst in its class, and the Durango starts to look more like a money pit than a performance SUV. Now that we've gone through the list, let's take a step back. It's important to remember that no car is perfect. Every manufacturer has its wins and its flops. But when you start seeing patterns in the shop, when the same models show up again and again with similar and expensive problems, it's time to take notice. What makes this list different is that it's based on real-world shop experience. Not just reliability rankings or glossy magazine reviews, but the actual mechanical issues that cost people time, money, and peace of mind. Some of these cars, like the Tesla Model Y or BMW X3, offer a premium experience, but at a premium price when things go wrong. Others, like the Jeep Wrangler or Nissan Altima, have been plagued by the same issues year after year with no meaningful improvements. If you're in the market for a new car in 2025, my advice is this: don't buy based on looks or marketing hype alone. Look into the service history of the model. Visit forums, talk to mechanics, and read ownership reviews from people who've had the vehicle for more than just a test drive. Pay special attention to the drivetrain. The engine and transmission are the most expensive parts of the car to fix. A sleek touchscreen won't help you when your CVT fails at 60,000 miles or your turbo blows unexpectedly. And finally, always consider total cost of ownership, not just the sticker price. Fuel, maintenance, repairs, and depreciation all add up. A car that's cheap to buy might end up being the most expensive to keep. There are plenty of great vehicles on the market, ones that are reliable, affordable, and well-engineered. But the 10 I've listed here, if you ask a mechanic, most of us will tell you the same thing: proceed with caution. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your search for a vehicle that won't just take you places, but also give you peace of mind along the way.